For me, this Christmas Eve sequence is the emotional heart of the film, pushing both our lead characters into the depths of despair. It follows the double revelation at the office party, where first Fran has discovered from the obliging Miss Olsen, played by Edie Adams making her cinematic debut, that she's just the latest in a long line of Sheldrake's bits on the side. And then Baxter realising, courtesy of Fran's broken compact mirror, that she, the girl he's coming to love, is the one Sheldrake is bedding at his apartment. So first we find Baxter, maudlin and pie-eyed in a downtown bar, still wearing that absurd bowler hat that he was so proud of, being picked up by a woman as sad and lonely as he. Here we have another of Wilder's casting coups, as Margie McDougall, Hope Holliday, an actress famed for her scratchy Brooklyn accent, looks scarily like what Fran might become in 20 years' time if things went badly for her. Yet even at this low ebb, Wilder and Diamond can't resist throwing in a few gags, like Margie's explanation that her husband isn't in one of Castro's jails for counter-revolutionary activities, but as a jockey for horse doping. And just to compound the irony, O Come All Ye Faithful is playing on the jukebox in the background. And when we return to the bar in a few minutes' time, we'll see Santa Claus being ejected, hopelessly drunk and abusive. Here, as throughout the film, the balance between comedy and tragedy is sustained on a knife edge.
You married?
Nope.
Family?
Nope.
Night like this, it sort of spooks you to walk into an empty apartment.
I said I had no family. I didn't say I had an empty apartment.
And from the bar we cut to Fran in Baxter's apartment and at her lowest emotional ebb, listening to Sheldrake's phony self-justifications. Why does a man run around with so many girls? Because he's lonely, that's why. And realising just how callously she's been taken for a ride.
Well, when you've been married to a woman for 12 years, you just don't sit down at the breakfast table and say, pass the sugar, I want a divorce. It's not that easy.
And if this isn't enough, to degrade her yet further, he proceeds to treat her like $100 a trick hooker. And her reaction, standing up and starting to take her clothes off with a look of utter contempt and self-contempt. I just thought, as long as it was paid for, it's perhaps the most bitter moment in the whole film.
Well, that's a little more like it. At least you're speaking to me.
A funny thing happened to me at the office party today. I ran into your secretary, Miss Olsen. You know, ring-a-ding-ding. I laughed so much I like to die.
Is that what's been bothering you, Fran? Miss Olsen? That's ancient history.
Worth noting, too, in view of Wilder's disavowal of virtuoso filmmaking, that from the moment Fran stands up to when, after Sheldrake's departure, she heads for the bathroom, where her eyes will light on a bottle of sleeping pills, is a 130-second unbroken take, with the camera unobtrusively panning and tracking to follow the action.
Why does a man run around with a lot of girls? Because he's unhappy at home. Because he's lonely, that's why. But that was before you, Fran. I've stopped running.
How could I be so stupid? I think I would have learned by now. When you're in love with a married man, you shouldn't wear mascara.
And inevitably, we again get the film's theme tune, the uncredited Charles Williams' Jealous Lover, with the LP sleeve and the music linking this scene straight back to the Chinese restaurant scene that we were looking at earlier, and deepening the whole film's bitter ironies. That tune, lush and romantic, will play out while Fran sobs helplessly before heading for the bathroom and her attempted suicide. At this juncture, the apartment is just one thin, chill whisker away from out-and-out tragedy. It's a rare, brave comedy that'll do that. And it sums up why, for me, The Apartment just has the edge over Some Like It Hot in the Wilder masterpiece stakes.
Look, Fran, I didn't realize it was so late. It's 7:15. I mustn't miss my train. If we hadn't wasted all this time, I have to get home and trim the tree.
Okay. I just thought as long as it was paid for.
The scene starts and ends with that theme tune again, Jealous Lover. The way the resident pianist starts playing it the moment Fran enters tells us it's become the theme tune for her and Sheldrake too. And here he is, played of course by Fred MacMurray. MacMurray, who, by the way, started out playing jazz saxophone, which perhaps explains his excellent timing, had in the 30s and 40s made a very successful film career playing mostly nice guys. Solid, tweedy, pipe-smoking best friends and husbands. Maybe a little bit dull, but utterly dependable. Then, in 1944, Billy Wilder, who had evidently spotted something in MacMurray's stolid screen persona no one else had noticed, manoeuvred him into playing Walter Neff, sleazy insurance salesman, adulterer and killer in Double Indemnity. It was the finest work MacMurray had ever done, and the reviews were terrific, but the actor hated the way he'd been made to look, scared that it would alienate his fan base, and scuttled straight back to being Mr. Tweedypipe. So now, with The Apartment, Wilder was at it again, casting him as a bastard. Though, in fact, he wasn't Wilder's first choice. The original casting was Paul Douglas, but the actor died suddenly of a heart attack a week before shooting was due to start, and Wilder asked for MacMurray to replace him. And once more, MacMurray felt deeply uncomfortable and kept trying to redeem his character, which of course is just what the role needs, because Fran Kubelik isn't stupid or ditzy or insensitive, and though she might fall for a total shit once, she really wouldn't be dumb enough to do it twice. So there has to be that small surviving core of genuine warmth, genuine tenderness in Sheldrake's character that he can play on and she can respond to. In a moment we get a brief cutaway to poor old Baxter waiting outside the theatre. Happiness, Billy Wilder once said, is working with Jack Lemmon. All the more impressive since Wilder was never one to lavish people with compliments. This was their second film together after Some Like It Hot, and they went on to make 5 more movies together. Back to Fran and Sheldrake. In this scene he's giving her the old line about divorcing his wife. But then he reminds her about a trip they took together in the summer and a rickety canoe they rented. And you see that this guy really still can be nice and tender and sexy, and that she's remembering the good times they had together, and that's what gets her back into bed with him at poor old Baxter's apartment. And as Sheldrake sweet talks her over the cocktails, you can't tell, and she can't, and possibly even he can't, where the sincerity ends and the fake sincerity begins.
Can't we go someplace else?
No, I have a date at 8:30.
Oh? Important?
Not very, but I'm going to be there anyway.
You ready to order dinner now?
No, dinner.
Just bring us 2 more drinks, will you?